Hello, Jane Fays here from Sydney, Australia. So I'm picking up the video partway into creating the collage base. I explained that in the previous video. So what I have done is once I had laid out all my vintage papers, and apologies it's upside down for you, but that's going to be necessary so I can see what I'm doing. But this was the plan of my papers, and I took a photo of it and printed it out. And so what I have done is given the base layers a number 1. So the ones that are at the very bottom, I've actually numbered number 1. So I would lay them down first. And then the next layer I've put a 2 on. It does get more complicated and I didn't quite finish, but I've got the majority of the ones down that I need first. And it can be quite complicated and takes a bit of thought to make sure that you do them in the right order according to your plan. Now, if that doesn't work out, then, you know, there's so many other options. I'm sure you can, and I can just adjust. So this is just going to be a base for adding on my poster collage pieces that I've collected recently. So that just gives you an idea. So what I've got here, and again, apologies, it's upside down for you, but it just means that I have a better idea of the placement. So they're just some of my base pieces. I'm now going to be adding these two, which is a piece of music here, a bit higher, and that's a bit lower. So I'm just, as I said, I've got my matte medium here in a little dish, and I place it all over the bottom of my next piece, and using my picture there as a guide and making sure it's straight, square onto the page. Sorry if my head sticks into it, and then just checking that that's going to sit there nicely. And then once I've got that, what I'll do is just make sure that my stave is straight. That's a fairly dominant line. So that's, I have left the ragged edges up there intentionally. So that's about 14 millimeters down from the edge. And then once I've put that in place, I just go over the whole thing in matte medium. I prefer matte to gloss. It's just my preference. And now I'm going to add this lovely, very old, very delicate Italian book. And that then we'll cover up here. And this is quite delicate. Actually, I'll bring that down a bit more. So I reveal that music. And that's a very delicate, very transparent paper. So gluing that down well. We'll see how that turns out. So I've now got these two pieces that I can tick off. Oh, tick, tick. And now I've got a few more complicated ones. I think probably this piece is my next piece, and then I'll be doing these and these. So that's my next piece, which is here. And I've obviously left quite a bit of a gap there, so I might be needing to add in another piece there of something to bridge that gap. As you can see, I've probably put that higher, but that does happen. So I will just be adding that in. It's with, I think that's probably sits down there a bit more. I might actually just grab how far has it got to go? So I'll just tear a piece of paper. I'm just going to pop this in here as a bit of a bridge. So that can go, I'll just use a bit less of that. That can go in here, and then that's over there, and then that should see me through, I think. Oops, it needed to be a little bit longer. We'll work that out. Okay, so I'm just going to add that now. That's what I mean by just going with the flow a bit. Once you've got a nice stash of papers, just changing direction, changing the texture of the paper. Again, making sure that's square. And this wasn't part of the original plan. Make sure you get rid of air bubbles. I've just got a really cheap brush here, so that will be fine there. And then I'm going to pop this one in there. It overlaps a bit more with my plant. I hope you can see this. I'm just putting my matte medium, which I've put into a little container just to make it easy to spread on. So again, using that as a guide, I bring that over here. I have added a bit more than I intended. What do I need to do? That should work okay. And really nice, generous amount of, sorry if you can't see it, I don't normally work on A3, but I want to be able to use some of those. That pen is bleeding slightly, but that's okay. Okay, so that's that piece, and then we have this long piece here, which will go there, and hopefully there'll still be enough of the size of those papers on the side. Again, double checking. I think I had that way up, keeping it all square, and that goes a bit higher. I want it to sit down nicely. Again, keeping it all square. I'll just double check that it's square. That's 4.9. And we're going from the base 4.8, from the base 4.8, pretty close. So that's all, just double checking that all your lines of text and your papers, even though they're torn edges, the lines of text are running vertical and horizontal on your page. And even though we've got some rough edges, which is my intention, that it's all square in the middle bit. So this is our next piece. That's going to go upside down here. And then I've got another little bit just added in. these are a lovely variety of texts. Well, that's got to go up to there to hide this little gap there. So that's got to go up to there, and that's important to keep your eye on the gaps and get rid of any air bubbles. Okay, and just any dried glue. And then I just need one little piece there, which is my evening prayer piece. And I think that goes nicely there. So once I've done this last piece, I might end the video so that you're not totally bored. Okay, and that's going to go just there like that. And getting rid of those air bubbles. So, nearly finished. Just 4 pieces to go. I think I might just top up my matte medium. And what have I got here? Oh, okay, so this piece was meant to go in under that, but that doesn't matter. Columbia Cambodia. So we're going to put that now over the top, even though it was under before. And then that's going to go there, nice. And that's just slide it down a bit because I want those rough edges extending out from the mixed media board. I want to feature those as part of it. I hope you can see. And then we've got a map, again following on. So I've got a map now which will go upside down. Maybe we'll cover, no, that will go there. Nearly at the end. I'll stick with it now till the end because it won't take too long. I'm just being precious with my, and really just making sure those lines and bubbles are out, creases. And then we've got our second last piece is our, but that's going to cover up quite a bit. I might actually tear some of that off now, just with the different layout. It's just that little bit high and dominant, so I'm going to have less of that. And that can go in there like that. This is a bit of rust-dyed paper. It's not vintage, it's just, I think, a parchment paper that I used. And then that's going to go square on there, but nearly cover that. Press out some of those creases. Makes for messy fingers, that's for sure. And last but not least, one little piece here, which we're going to put down in the bottom corner. And good news is that I haven't got any pieces left, which means I must have done them all. So very thankful for that. And that is, I'll turn it around to show you now. That is the base for my, so there's the photocopy which I took my photo of, and here's my collage. So hopefully you can see that from the top down to the bottom, and I'm just going to let that dry well. There's multiple layers, there's quite a bit of matte medium on there, and so once that's dry I'll start the video again and we'll have a play with adding some of our beautiful poster fragments. So see you in the next video.